41, 42, 43, 44, 45, baby! There is absolutely no cap to this bike. I am not feeling any hard cut or anything. It just wants to keep going. Well, look what we have sitting in front of us in an empty parking lot. It's just the only thing out here. This looks like the Eahora Romeo Pro II. The bike that you guys have all been asking me to review for the longest time, ever since I unboxed it, and I'm finally getting to it. And I gotta say, if you didn't see this bike in person, or you kind of want a comparison, I really need to put this bike up against some of my other bikes in the garage. This is the biggest bike I actually have and own at the moment. This is a 151-pound e-bike. The battery alone is 30 pounds. The cool thing about this battery though, it's a 52-volt e-bike, and this is a 60 amp hour battery. It goes from here down to here, and it is 3120 watt hours. That is a massive battery for a bike. But keep in mind, we also have a lot of power going through this bike, so that battery should be efficient for what we need it for. Because we have two 1,500 watt motors on this bike, so that means we're pushing 3,000 watts of power out of this thing. So it should feel really good on the road, real punchy and torquey, and it should go past 40 miles an hour. So I'm gonna see how fast we get it, and we're gonna do that right now because I really wanna ride this thing. We gotta turn it on first. You hit this button that's right behind my phone, and then we have to go up in modes. It doesn't have a memory function, so it goes up to 5 from 0. And we also have 99% on the battery because I went 1 mile going down the street. So we're at a full battery charge basically. And it says I've already done 43 miles an hour. So let's actually do that again. But we have to hit this button right here, and we have to put it in the dual drive. And it lights up red. First it's orange, then it goes red. And I think red means we get all the power possible. And let's just see how this thing rips. Oh crap, yep, doing burnouts already. When you're rolling though, doing at least like 5 or 6 miles an hour, it won't do that. All right, so here we go. We're going against the wind, by the way, guys. So 37, 38, 39, 40. Yeah, we're moving. 41. Holy crap, I can still feel it moving, but the mile per hour hasn't changed. We're coming up to a light. Holy crap, we got cruise control. I forgot, after like 7 or 8 seconds, cruise control activates. So check that out. A bike doing 40 miles an hour with cruise control. I don't know if that's safe or not, but hey, you can turn that off in the settings if you want, but I think that's kind of cool. Because I gotta say, even though this bike is super fast, and I feel super tall off the ground because we're on 26-inch wheels and they're 4 inches wide, it's a huge bike to be sitting way up here in the air. And I feel all this wind hitting me in the face, but it feels really good out here because it is super hot. It's 99 degrees today. Going to this throttle though really quick, the reason why I like the cruise control feature is because I don't like this throttle. It's plastic, it's real cheap plastic. So you're gonna want gloves for this bike. Keep that in mind. I'm not wearing gloves because I always like to get a feel of the grips with my bare hands, but you're gonna 100% need gloves with these because it's already rubbing right here and it's kind of starting to hurt. Another thing too, this is a little close. You can move this shifter a little over, which by the way, we have a 7-speed shifter on here. So this bike should be pretty good for pedaling, and we'll test that out a little bit later. But yeah, so this is gonna hit and this is gonna feel a little rough. So you might want to change these out or just wear gloves on your trip. So anyways, we're in our speed test and we're going to see how fast this bike goes, 0 to 28 if it reaches that. If it goes over 27, normally on this test, it's a faster e-bike. But without further ado, let's do it in the highest mode. Then we'll come back and do it in a lower mode. So here we go. 1, 2, 3. Dang, 10, 12, whatever. Oh, this hasn't updated. 16, 20. All right, there we go. 23, 27, 30, 31. Oh, dang, we are moving. 33. Oh, okay. 34. I think I could have reached 35, but I thought cruise control was on, so I just let off. That's my bad. But now I want to do this test in single motor, just the rear one, and let's see how fast it is in that test. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. Oh, dang. Whoa, what a big difference. Oh, wow. I'm barely moving. Oh, that's funny, man. I'm still curious to see if it's gonna reach like 27-ish or over that compared to some of the other e-bikes we test here. It's getting close. We're almost there, we're almost there. We're not gonna make it though. 25 miles an hour. Well, so now we know that the rear motor is decent, I guess, for how heavy this bike is, but I'm gonna put it in the highest mode, because if you guys are buying this bike, you guys aren't gonna be buying it to go super slow, right? Unless you're on a trail and you're being cautious with other riders, and you know, you can only go 20 miles an hour where you're based at. But when you're off-road or just having fun by yourself and you don't have to worry about people, you're gonna be hauling ass, right? So we're going back in the dual drive. It's red, the wheels are red, and we went already down to 94%. Man, it seems like we're killing this battery. There is no voltage reading on here. Just keep that in mind. I was kind of disappointed that it didn't have voltage. But what I want to do now is I want to test out the pedals and let's see how those are. So I put it in gear 1 and let's rock through those and see how much it picks up. So here we go. 1, 2, 3. Oh, okay. Oh man. Come on, pedals. Oh, wow. Okay. Whoa, now, what the heck? Okay, now it picked up. What the? All right. It felt a little glitchy. Oh man. The power feels like it's going in and out when using the pedals. Am I not moving the pedals fast enough? Yeah, that's weird. Yeah, I'm having like fluctuations with the pedals of the power, like kicking on and then kicking off. So maybe it's how hard you pedal. I don't think this thing has a torque sensor. I'm pretty sure it's 100% a cadence sensor, but it's starting to act like a torque sensor. And I gotta see where ghost pedaling started at. So I'm connected, and after 25, I'm not connected to the pedals anymore. I feel like I'm moving it too fast, where they're just rotating way too much for my feet and I can't keep up. All right, so I pulled over here like I do on all my e-bike reviews and kind of look at it out in the sun in this little cul-de-sac that I come to before we do our off-road test. And here's how this side of the bike looks. If you didn't see it before when I was walking around it, check out the kickstand. This is a huge kickstand. This is like the biggest kickstand I think I've ever seen. Like, look how far it goes in the back. It almost goes past the tire. It's crazy. It has a nice duty spring right here. Here's your motor wire cable right here. And this is a quick disconnect just in case you get a flat. You can just take this off, take the bolts off. You got some torque plates as well. This bike does take a long time to put together. Just keep in mind, because you do have the front motor and you have torque plates on there. And then you have to get the motor aligned. So it's better to flip it upside down, put the motor on. Then you have to connect it as well right here. And then you have to take these tabs off and, you know, get the wire and all that stuff close to the suspension up here. So just keep that in mind, that it is a long process to put this bike together, but it is a cool bike. I like it. I like the brakes. We got 4-piston brakes on here, and they are by S4. I don't think I've ever seen these before, but I like how these pads have the heat sinks on them, kind of like my Sur-Ron brakes do. So that's good. One thing to note on this bike too, when installing it, is you do have to put this on yourself. And I've seen some people put it this way because the writing is actually correct if you install the spring this way. But I've also seen people flip it the opposite way, so you have the adjustment right here for soft and firm, which you can do that on the fly if you had it like right up here, which would make it easier when you're riding. So you can do the spring however you want. I don't think it affects anything the way you install that. Let's check out this battery real quick. I gotta look at this thing, because the only time I looked at it is when I unboxed it really quick and then I threw the bike in the corner because I had so many bikes to review. Oh man, I gotta make sure I don't drop this thing. Woo! This is a workout. I should go to the gym. So on here, it says 52 volts, 58,800 milliamp hours. Right underneath it, it says 3,058 watt hours. But I think on their website, it says 3,120 watt hours. So that's a little different from what their website says. But basically, this is still a 3,000 watt hour battery. So just keep that in mind. It's a very big battery. You're not gonna have any issues with range, getting where you need to go. But putting this thing in, holy moly. Hold on. All right. It's a little difficult dropping in there because it's kind of heavy, but make sure you slam it in there so it locks, and then just make sure to take the keys off so you don't lose those. Your charge port is over here on this side. It uses a different plug than most e-bikes. It's a huge plug. It looks like an outlet plug. And yeah, it takes a while to charge this thing up from dead to full because it's such a big battery. So without further ado, now we're gonna try our hill test. We're gonna start at the very bottom, right before it goes up. And I am in the rear motor only. I want to do this test multiple times. Let's do it with the rear motor first, then we'll do it with the front motor, then we'll do it with all the motors with the most power possible. So here we go, rear motor only, 1, 2, 3. I don't think it's gonna do it. I don't think it's gonna do it. Nope, oh, it died. All right. It will not do it with the rear motor only. Now I'm actually kind of worried if it's gonna do it with the front motor. So switched over to the front motor. Here we go, 1, 2, 3. Yeah, it feels about the same power because they're the same motors. Nope. Yep, it cut out again. All right, so let's try, since we haven't made it up yet, let's actually try this test with dual motors, but let's do it in the orange dual motors before we go to the red, which gives us a little bit less power, I believe. So here we go, 1, 2, 3. Oh yeah, there we go. Whoa, front tire's peeling out. All right, I switched it over to the red wheels now. Let's see how it comes up this. 1, 2, 3. Oh, 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 oh. Oh, that was a big difference. Man, it was just peeling out everywhere. You got to be a little careful too, especially on gravel with that front tire at low speeds wanting to break traction. But that felt pretty good. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. This should tackle off-road pretty good. Oh, wow. Here we go. All right. Oh, dang. We're flying. Holy moly. Holy moly. Well, this bike is fast for this. Ooh. When you're on dirt, it feels like you're moving so much faster. I'm not gonna lie, I got a little scared. Let's hit this jump real quick. Woo! I'm gonna throw dirt all over myself. Here we go, here we go. Oh, wee! Oh, dang, we got another person coming. So, guys, all right, now let's haul ass while we get all the dust in our face. Woo! Oh, my God. This thing is flying. Oh man, can't say I'm not a little scared because it just keeps going. Even if I'm not going like 40 plus miles an hour, I can just feel it going faster and faster and faster. There's like no cap to it. Woo, woo, woo. Okay, I got let off. Oh my God. It was so bumpy right there that I felt unsafe. Wow. Wow. Wow, that was an adrenaline rush. That was actually fun, man. Holy shit. Oh, that was a blast. I gotta say though, the suspension is not super plush though. Oh, I got cruise control on. I'm gonna turn that off. Hold on. Let me just hit the brake so that turns off. Wow. Yeah, so the suspension, it's kind of jarring, but let me turn this compression down a little bit more. It was close to the bottom, but it looks like I got 2 rotations out of it, so it should be a little better. Yeah, there we go. All right, so let's get into the turning test real quick. Gotta say, it's a heavy bike to turn. These tires feel great though. They handled off-road pretty well, not too bad. They're more of a street pattern, but they do have knobbies on them a little bit, so you kind of, you know, get that dirt rolling through there. Should be decent for water as well. I'm not really having any complaints about these tires. The tire does say it's good. The recommended tire pressure, I think, is 15 PSI, but they go up to 30. I have these aired up to 27, just so you have an idea. I can get a little bit less bumpy if I lowered them down. But now I gotta do the brake test for you guys. I'm gonna try it at 28 miles an hour. I'm just trying to reach that speed. There we go. Oh yeah, that's pretty good. Not too bad on the braking, especially for how heavy this bike is. And I was doing around 27, 28, and it stopped really good compared to the bike we just did the other day. It flew all the way over here. And that's the line. If we stop at this line or behind it, it's a really good bike. And I'm very surprised with how heavy this bike is. But again, we got those 203 millimeter rotors on here, 4 piston hydraulic brakes, great brake pads on there as well. We're stopping in no time on this bike. It's really good. And it should be, because it's a fast-ass bike. Oh, I am going so fast into these turns. Holy shit. Oh, we're really testing out the bike. Man, this is a different type of feeling when you're on a big bike going this fast. Definitely different. God, it handles good. I am very low. I'm super sideways. Like, check this out. Oh, and it's coming up this hill, no problem. This thing's a beast. Wow, I am impressed actually. I'm not just saying that. The suspension, of course, could be better, but the power's there, man. The power is there. Let's see how fast it is going downhill. Let's go, let's go. It's windy too, guys. Oh, okay, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44. Woo, 45, baby. There is absolutely no cap to this bike. I am not feeling any hard cut or anything. It just wants to keep going. It will go as fast as this bike will go, depending on your weight and your terrain and how you're riding. This thing is quick, man. Wow. I don't know how many times I can tell you I am actually impressed by this bike. Now, what I want to see is if I got cruise control on right now, we're on a flat road. I just came up a little slight hill, but let's see if I let my hands off. Okay. It's not the most stable e-bike that I have been on, but I can still let my hands off, but the balance seems like it wants to go more to the right, but that could just be me. I'm trying my best. But that's crazy, I don't have to use a throttle, we're just chilling. We are hauling ass, man. Some things you're gonna just have to get used to with this bike though is how heavy it is, like moving it around, like your garage, or where you're gonna lock it up at, your work if you have to push it. Or if you get a flat for whatever reason, this is gonna be a bad bike to have to push around. So the next thing I like to do on my test is a throttle test and the pedal test. Let's see how fast those respond. So here we go. This is right out of the box, no adjustments whatsoever. 1, 2, 3. Oh, that's pretty instant. 1, 2, 3. Oh yeah, that's on point right there. 1, 2, 3. Lovely, love it. Absolutely love it. Now let's see how the pedals are. 1, 2, 3. Okay, the pedals take a little longer, maybe like 2 seconds. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, you be the judge of that. It's like 1.5 seconds, maybe 2 seconds. So if you really need to get out of the way of something or go across the street, don't rely on the pedals, rely on the throttle up here. We're gonna start on this thing. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, go. I noticed that it's not pilling out anymore. I know we're going down on battery percentage, but it's not doing it anymore, which is funny. It did that right off the hit when it was at 100%. And we're only down to 89% if that's accurate. I couldn't really tell you. So far I have went 7.67 miles, and it's just going up obviously as we're riding. Now 7.75 miles. I've been out here for roughly almost 38 minutes. And yeah, we went down 10%, 11% roughly. Oh, now 12%. It does jump up a little bit. It's going off a voltage sag. So when I do let off the bike and get back on it, it does go up a little. So what I want to do real quick, let's turn the bike off. Let's see if you can do it when you're rolling. Most bikes you can't. It doesn't look like this one you can't either. You got to come to a complete stop to turn the bike off. So let's do that. Complete stop, turn the bike off. We're at 89%. Keep that in mind. I'm going to turn it right back on. Let's see if we have any discrepancies and it like changed when the bike comes back on. All right, no, so it went to 90%. So that was pretty much right in the same thing. It's really going off a voltage sag. So if I would have sat here for maybe 2 minutes with the bike on, it would have slowly went up to 90% where it's supposed to be. Let's try out our horn. Okay, it's coming off the headlight, so it's not a real horn, but it's actually decently loud. Move it, move a cord. Sorry. That guy over there. Oops. The guy sells cherries over there and he turned around. My bad, I didn't mean to bother you. But yeah, so I guess the horn is decently loud for people to hear you. Maybe not someone in a car that maybe has a little bit of music going, but definitely on the trails. And that guy heard me, he was pretty far away. So it's a decently loud horn. I'm actually kind of impressed by that too. Overall, man, this bike is really kind of winning me over. I wasn't expecting this at all. And I know a lot of people have been on the fence about buying this bike, and I'm not here to sell you guys a bike. I don't care. If I don't make commission on anything, it's whatever. But I really like it, and I'm gonna have all the links, discount codes, everything for this bike too, so I could try to save you guys some money on this bike. You gotta check the description for that. Let's hit the brakes. Oh man, those work so good. The whole bike endoed. Almost flew over the handlebars. Oh man, these brakes are good. Wow. This bike is dope, man. What the heck? This is a super dope bike, and it's a good long-range e-bike too at that. Again, I just think the biggest complaint is how heavy it is. But with any bike, the way battery technology is right now, it hasn't caught up to the point where we have super light batteries that get you hella range. But for what it is right now in 2024, this is good, man. Now here's something cool is that underneath the display, you have a Type-C port. It's not even a USB like most of these bikes, so you should be able to fast charge your devices. Now, I don't know the wattage coming out of it. I'm pretty sure it's not, 50 to 100 watts, but that's cool that it has that Type-C plug, because everything is Type-C now. All right, let me get my cruise control back on. One thing I want to do in this video is I want to go up this overpass over here. It's more steeper than the other one we went up, and I just want to see how it does, because it's a very powerful bike. Very impressed. I have noticed though that since we have been on it for a while, I don't know if the motors are getting hot because it's a very hot day and it's lowering our power, but our top speed is only doing 36, 37 roughly. So we're not able to go as fast as we were when we first got on the bike. And the battery percentage is not that low. But I gotta say that is kind of right for a 52 volt e-bike compared to a 60 volt e-bike, where I feel like those should always go over 40 miles an hour, even when the battery starts draining or things get hot. And this one is doing pretty good. It's a 52 volt bike normally will go roughly about 37, 38. And this one's really hopped up with 2 motors, so that's why it goes a lot faster. So here's this hill I'm talking about. We're starting right at the bottom of it, right at the light. Really curious to see what we're gonna do coming up this thing. Power feels so good on this thing. Nice car, brother. All right, here we go. This is maxed. Heavy bike, keep in mind that we're pushing up this thing. All right, so about 23 miles an hour, 24, when we're kind of getting to the top. Now we're at the top. All right, so 23 to 24, not bad at all. The Rev 1 DRT with boost mode, or the street version, that does the same thing. It's about 24. And that has way less power, but it also doesn't weigh as much. So here's a quick update since I'm at the light. 12.99 miles, that's really 13 miles. Max speed 45, average speed 15. And over here, I'm at 81%. So not too bad of the range. This is a really good range e-bike. Let's see how it does up the hill coming back. Still feels very sluggish. It's doing it, but man, I just really thought it would go faster than this. Come on, come on. Yeah, it's just holding that speed. I should really pull over and see how hot these motors are. I don't have like a temperature gun or anything like that, but I can put my hand on them and see if they're really hot. You know what? I mean, it's hot, but it ain't that hot. Oh, that's surprising. Yeah, not bad at all. I can rest my hand on that. This one I have more room. This one feels a little bit more hotter than the rear. But yeah, no. These are warm. They're not hot. They're not burning up. Cool. All right. So it's not a motor issue. It's probably just because we're losing battery percentage little by little. Now, pedaling this bike as just your everyday bike, if you want to pedal it, obviously I told you after 25 miles an hour, you're not connected. But if you want to feel like you're pedaling and look like a bike, even if you're doing 30, 40 miles an hour, whatever, it's not bad. The seat is decently wide, but the way the seat is set up, it's not rubbing too much. Maybe a little tiny bit, but not as bad as all these other bikes have been reviewing. So kudos to the seat. The only problem I didn't like about that seat is that they put the seat on with the plastic. So I got to go under there and take all 4 bolts off the seat to rip all the plastic off. Just one extra step I didn't really want to have to do, and I probably won't do it. I think that plastic's going to be there forever. Well, I got to say, guys, I'm pretty impressed by this bike. It's dope. I don't know, like, I'm not into a very heavy bike because I don't really like heavy bikes because they're not as nimble. And yeah, the thing doesn't turn like a 80-pound bike would, but I'm surprised on how fun it was. Now, here comes some of the cons. So I've noticed that as we've been riding it, we're down to 80%, by the way, and I've almost done 15 miles. Let's just say 15 miles. I've been out here for an hour in total. Max speed was still 45 miles an hour. That was way earlier in our trip. That was also going down an overpass as well. But I think on flat, we got like 42 or 43. It's a quick bike, but I noticed that we're only now getting like 35 miles an hour out of this thing. Now that the battery's only at 80%. So I don't know if that's like a controller setting or a heat issue, because the bike does not feel hot whatsoever. That's why I felt it, just to see if it was overheating and cutting our power. What I'm curious to know though is, let's say that I ride this to work in another video and we go down on battery, then I leave it at work, everything cools down, and then I ride it home. I'm wondering if it's gonna give us a lower mile per hour. That's the only like downside I think of this bike so far, is that I'm not able to hold 40 miles an hour as the battery's draining, or maybe as the bike's getting hot. But what a cool bike, guys. Awesome as hell. Headlight is great. I'm gonna show you the headlight and the brake light in another video when I do take it to work, like I said, so you'll check that out. I do like how this blinks. It's very bright, if you guys can see that. Super bright light. I'm actually very impressed on the brake light. Haven't tested out the headlight yet, but we'll test that out later. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. Links, everything will be down in the description. It's kind of cool. If you were just looking for a big bike and you were over at least, I gotta say 5'6" or 5'7", you're gonna like this bike, because when I do sit on this bike, one thing, all right, let me mention this real quick before we end the video. I am kind of on my tippy toes. Like, I can flat-foot it if I want, but it doesn't feel comfortable right up here. So feeling comfortable, I wanna say half of my foot is on the ground and my feet are a little bit up. So it is a tall bike. But without further ado, guys, like I said, everything's down in the description. Go check it out, discount codes. This is a cool bike for a big person or someone that wants a big bike in general. So see you guys in the next one. You guys are the true MVPs, and stay tuned for the next one. Subscribe.